Grand Rising Cosmic Family. Peace to all the gods and goddesses of Planet Kai, man. Peace to all the high vibrational human beings and all the divine beings and chosen ones all around the world, family. Now we rise. Now we rise. You know, around these times, family, as we continue shifting with Mother, you know, I'm not here for the division. I'm not here to go against any brother or sister out here for what they believe in as far as they beliefs. You know, everybody has their own like mission or their own path or their own journey as a chosen one, you know, as far as their mission and what they came back here to do. You know, we all have different roles and we all have different soul contracts that we signed before we return back on this planet, you know. And like, my thing is, I'm not about the division. You know, I believe what I believe. You could believe what you believe. You know, you could follow what you believe. But the main thing right now is we need to be focusing on connecting back to divine source. You know, whatever you follow, you know, whatever you look at as the divine source. I look at divine source as the Most High, divine mother and divine father, you know, and, you know, connecting with my ancestors and my spiritual team, you know. So the main thing is really building that connection with the Most High, having a real connection with the Most High, and really healing yourself and doing the shadow work to become the best version of yourself to help raise the frequencies on the planet. Because if you standing for righteousness, you know, that's really what it's all about. And I'm all about coming together for that, you know, and that only. Nothing wicked, nothing evil, nothing, you know what I'm saying, that's meant to hurt our planet, hurt our animals, and to keep our planet oppressed of its natural resources. Because, you know, our oppressors been keeping this planet oppressed for generations and years, and for as long as they've been running and taking control over our planet. And, you know, that shit is ending. The time for that is over, because this is the fall of Babylon, family. So, you know, I know all the stuff that my ancestors went through. Y'all, you know what I'm saying, as being African American, as they would title us as, we know we are the indigenous. You know, we don't, that's not really our title. That was a title that was given to us by our oppressor, right? You know that, you know, all the shit that our ancestors endured, all the pain, man. Like, I was sitting in deep meditation and I just heard spirit say, you know, no pain, you know, no gain. You know what I'm saying? And I realized that we in a time now where Mother is basically renewing herself. You know, we are renewing our minds as our people, as time continues shifting. Anybody who's been doing the work, actually healing themselves and really connecting with Mother Nature and getting back connected to their roots, or getting back connected to who they are on a spiritual level. You know, we're going back to a time now as we shift with the planet of renewing our mind and reprogramming our mind and detaching from the old ways of the system in this matrix, right? So, you know, I heard that, and I don't know, like, I heard spirit say no pain, no gain, and it made me think about that classic record by Betty Wright. You know what I'm saying? No pain, no gain. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is really one of them songs that, you know, that the elders, when I was growing up, being around elders and being around a lot of older heads, like, I heard a lot of old school music, and it resonated with my soul more, because I am an old soul. So, like, I know a lot of the young generation might not have ever heard that song, but look, like, overall, the main message of it is no pain, no gain, right? And if you don't go through things, how you expect to get to the other side? You know, if you don't go through things, how you expect to build that inner strength, that confidence, that courage to continue fighting, that resilience? You know what I'm saying? Because life can beat you down, bro, if you let it. But it's all about your mindset. You know, it's all about how strong are you? How disciplined are you? How strong is that solar plexus chakra, that willpower within you? You know, to continue fighting no matter how many times you get knocked down, to continue standing in your divinity, no matter who tell you that, you know, you crazy for doing that, or you shouldn't be trying to walk, you know, you shouldn't be walking with your head high. You should hold your head down. No, hold your head high. It don't matter what nobody try to tell you, because at the end of the day, nobody walked in your shoes. Nobody know what you going through, and nobody know what you've been through. You know, nobody knows what you put here to do except for the Most High Divine Creator, the most divine, like the Most High Divine Mother and Father. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what, you know, as far as what I know and what I believe, you know, connecting back to divine source, and, you know, connecting and working with my ancestors. And I'm not knocking anybody for what they believe and what they follow, but, you know, that's me. You know, I'm not here to judge your beliefs, you know, so I'm not looking for you to judge mine. But the main thing I'm trying to say is we need to be coming together and standing for righteousness. You know, the planet has been through so much pain. We have been going through so much pain, especially as African American culture and my people, like, and you know, just in general, like, we're not African Americans like I mentioned before, but that's what they titled us as. We are the aboriginals, the indigenous of this land, right? But after all that pain our ancestors went through and endured, and just all the pain that they, you know, that the oppressor has been putting on our planet, suppressing our animals, killing our animals to, you know, hurting and harming nature and everything, spraying chemicals, chemtrails, everything in the air, chemicals in the food. We not getting natural source of food the way we supposed to be, you know, like just everything in general. Them even trying to cover the fucking sun, bro. The sun heals us. It's like, as gods and goddesses, like, the sun literally heals us of any sicknesses and diseases, anything you could think of. The sun is the best source that you can get. Like, the sun gives life to everything you see around you, you know, and that's why they try to cover it and stop us from getting it, family. But it's like all the pain and all the suffering that the planet has went through, now it's time to gain. All the pain that you went through and that you endured along your journey, from being hurt by physical family members, being hurt by people, you know, that you thought loved you, you know, people who you thought had your back, being hurt by people out here on the street, danger, like just strangers, you know, out here trying to put you in danger. Man, it's time to gain. You know, we're in a different season now, family, where everything is turning around for you, chosen. Everything is turning around for anybody that's standing for righteousness, because the tables have turned now. It's no more of these bitches, these evil, corrupted Pleiadians, reptilians, anybody that's standing with these, you know, evil ass 13 blood families. They're no longer on top, family. The tides is turning. And as time go on, you will continue to see that shift. Everything happens spiritually before it happens physically, right? So as time go on, you're gonna be continuously seeing these shifts take place, because we're in a new age. We're in the age of Aquarius. We're no longer in the age of Pisces. Everything is coming back to the aboriginal and to the indigenous of this land, who all this stuff was stolen from, you know. And it's just really sad, fam, that all of this shit had to happen, you know, for us to be able to step back in our divinity, be able to step back into our power as divine beings, our chosen ones, or be able to step into our calling, our purpose, and really build a real connection with the Most High Divine Creator. You know, because religion, we've been oppressed our whole lives to follow religions as well, and you know, religions overall was meant to divide, and that's not knocking anybody's belief system, but you know, that's what I believe, you know, and I know to be true. Like, it was all set up by the oppressor to keep us all divided, so that we could never just come together and so we can be at each other's neck about this. Oh, I believe this, so I don't like you. Or I do this, so I don't like you. Or I don't fuck with you because you do this. And it don't have to be like that. If we can all come together for righteousness and standing up for what is right, then I'm all for it, you know. But, you know, no pain, no gain, and you have to go through things in order to get things, and you have to go through pain in order for change to occur. So as time goes on, family, a lot of shit gonna be happening, a lot of things gonna be taking place as far as shifts, as we continue shifting along with Mother. You know, no pain, no gain. But when you go through the pain, all it does is strengthen you. It gives you that willpower, give you that strength, that courage, that endurance, that resiliency that you need to keep fighting no matter what. No matter how many times you get knocked down, you dust that shit off and you get back up, chosen one, and you continue fighting and you continue walking in your divine purpose and remembering who you are and raising the frequencies on this planet. You know, I leave as I come, family. Now we rise. Ashe.